All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makar. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, today's lesson, we're going to go into the joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment. Alright, the joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment. Alright, so, these Edomites, they're on their way out, The so-called white man, alright, the Edomites, they're on the ropes. Okay, what you got to understand is that they're on the ropes. You see, real fast, not to go into too deep into it, but as what you guys are seeing right now with ICE agents, and what do you see? Because at first they were targeting migrants, but now it's it's full on American versus American, and that didn't take too long, I mean, because the prophet's been out there telling you that Yahweh Bashim El Shai was going to bring this to pass. You see, so now you got American versus American, out there, and people, you got American citizens saying that, oh, they don't care, if they die, because they already went to jail, yeah, and it's about, and one thing you gotta know out there, Akim and Akwat, is that, it's gonna get much worse out there, much worse. Okay, these ICE agents are just the beginning. Okay, remember, there's gonna be guillotines out here. All right, you know how that one person got shot in the face by ICE agent? Who knows? Who knows? And who gives a shit? It's just like that. It's just like that. Because whether it's staged or if it really did happen, just know that the Lord's bringing this. So everything is going right according to plan. So rejoice. Because everything that the Lord told us is coming to pass. So you can see with this escalation that there's going to be shutdowns. Okay, they're saying that because of the shooting that there's going to be a shoot down. There's going to be a lockdown because of the shooting. All right, that's where it kind of sounded like a little bit like it's staged. Because the serpent, Esau just faking a shooting, and then let's just shut it down, it seems like that was just like all just staged, just so they can shut this place down. Remember, it's all about them, the newer order, the elites bringing in their newer order by chaos. Doesn't matter if it's staged, if they gotta lie, if they gotta blame somebody, starve people out. Remember, they're going for their newer order. You gotta remember that, at the end of the day. You see, but now, all right, because now you're starting to see, because Esau is on the ropes, remember? So now Esau, he's what? Remember, our enemies are desperate. Remember that. So now when somebody's desperate, they get sloppy. So that's what they're doing now. They're just, because they're desperate, because they're running out of time. So they're going to do anything and everything, Yeah, I mean, look at Trump, Look at Trump running like a madman. See, he don't give a damn. He's ready, he's ready to fight everybody, He don't care about international law. They don't give a damn, because he knows, because Trump, he's a major player, all right? And don't mean like, like with women and stuff. He's a major player in the newer order. Okay, he's he's been around the game for a while. All right, so remember that he's a full-blown Satanist. All right, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He ain't top dog because you got people ruling him, but he's far enough. He's far enough. He's been around for a while. Okay, make no mistake. All right, so as you can see, what's going on right now is beautiful, and because when I seen that video that I put a short clip earlier of that brother, that beautiful brother Micah Allah from GMS, Los Angeles camp. All right, how he had those short clips of ICE agents and all that. Yeah, showing that because you got Americans, American citizens calling ICE agents faggots and all that to show you that it's not just migrants, okay? Because it's this to show you that it's gonna be a full civil war out here. Okay, a full civil war. It's gonna be a full civil war out here. You know, yeah. Because remember, it's not just the Israelites. Okay, the American citizen, you're next. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're a so-called white man, a so-called Chinese. It don't matter. Okay, the New World Order, they're coming after everybody. If you're not part of that small elite group, they're coming for everybody. All right, remember that. Okay, it's this is why it's but also it's judgment from the Lord. Okay, so this is why we get excited, because forget the elites, those of the faith, of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, we can give a damn about the elites. Yeah, to us they're a bunch of clowns. We don't give a damn. Because the teachers of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, we're frontliners. So we tell, we can't wait to see the Rothschilds in chains. Because these sellouts like Genesis and all of them, they're over here, trying to have one foot in the world and one foot out. This is why they're saying that the heathen can make it, because they're trying to teach the Lord's word, but also be friends with the heathens as well, because they're trying to make money and be cool with them. That's having one foot in, one foot out. You can't do that. Yeah, that's why the true prophets are gonna lay it down every time, and are gonna tell you the same thing, no matter what, no matter what. Okay, it don't matter what's happening with the prophets. They're gonna keep it real. Okay, even if they gotta go to a concentration camp, they're gonna keep it real in there. Okay, remember Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, all right. Remember our Lord Yahushai. Okay, all right. In his final moments, what was he doing? Okay, he was praying to the Heavenly Father. Okay, he was right there. He wasn't like, forget this. I don't want to do this no more. Nah. I mean, he didn't want to go on that cross, but he never denounced his faith. Yeah. He felt that Yahweh Shai, that Yahweh forsook him for a little bit, but that was just a little bit of doubt. But that's the flesh. you know. But he didn't say like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. Nah, he held it down. Okay. Job chapter 9 verse 24. Let's start right here, and we're gonna stay in the book of Job. Yeah. Okay. All these precepts that I got here, they're all the book of Job. So just here we go. Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Stop right there. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Because the wicked these Edomites, okay, who are the wicked, okay, according to Malachi, all right, chapter 1, all right, verse 4, all right, the earth has been given into them to show you that the wicked have temporary rulership over the world. Okay, only temporary rulership. That's it. It's like they're renting an apartment, This is why the wicked don't have all the answers. This is why they're running around desperate, hiring all these agents and all that, Because they're desperate. They're desperate as hell, But it don't matter. Remember, okay, those who are the hopeful elect, okay, just hold it down, okay, and watch our enemies just scramble, because remember, there's no way out. There's no escape. Remember, it don't matter how much teams are out there. Remember, no one's getting past Yahweh Shai and the angels. Remember that, because this is the time for them to go down. You see? So just hold it down and trust in the Lord. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Right. Because the reason why all this truth is coming out now is because the true prophets are on the scene. See that? So this is why the elites are terrified, and they are terrified. Okay, because the so-called white man, his kryptonite, his worst enemy is the truth. Okay, and the prophets are exposing them every day. See? So remember, the so-called white man, you know, he don't get that mad. You can call him a cracker. He might be like, ah, whatever. You call me a cracker. I mean, he might get a little mad, but not that mad. Okay, you want to make the so-called white man mad? You want to make him scared? Okay, bring out the truth. That's his kryptonite. That's the so-called white man's worst enemy. Why? Because they're liars. You know. What do you think Freemasonry is all about? You know, the left-hand side. It's all about secrets. You know, don't say nothing. See, but you know, yeah, yep. That's their worst nightmare. See, that's why to the newer order, the prophets are enemy number one. You know, but that's all right. You know, the prophets are gonna keep laying it down regardless, all the way. You know, whatever the road has to be. You see, remember that. If not, where and who is he? Yeah, because right here, okay, Job, he's saying that if the so-called white man is not the one doing all this you know, treachery around the world, okay, all this lying, because he's covering the faces of the judges, you know, because if it's not him, then who is it? You know, if the so-called Chinese, who's the one lying to the whole world? It's the so-called white man, you know. See, now the whole world is coming up against them. See, because now it's their time to go down, because they're being exposed, you know, because they treat everybody like crap, even their own people. Imagine that. Yeah, they even enslave their own people, because you got the so-called white man working right next to us on these jobs, you know. Yeah, imagine that. Yep, but that's the so-called white man for you, you know. They even enslave their own kind. Okay, this is why when we get the kingdom, we're gonna show you Edomites how to rule, because we're not gonna have no Israelites working working next to you working next to an Edomite, you know. Nah, you know, you know, you guys got it messed up. You see, you know. But that just shows you that the so-called white man, he does not know how to rule, but also because he's selfish, you know, because he don't even take care of his own people. You know, his own veterans, people in the military are complaining about them. Okay, why? Because they're greedy. You know, they don't give a damn. They only care about their way. That's it. You know, see. But this is why they're going to slavery. Hmm? All right. All right. So now follow me to Job chapter 5. Job chapter 5, verse 12, and we're gonna go down to the all right, to the 17th verse. Okay, to the 17th verse. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So who's that he right there? Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, our Lord. Okay, he's gonna disappoint the devices of the crafty, because the Lord is going to stop the New World Order. Okay, they're not gonna finish it, but they are gonna get it going. Okay, this is you can already see with ICE agents and all that. This is already Jacob's trouble. Okay, this is already the beginning of it, and it's just gonna get worse here on out. Okay, it's gonna get amped up. You know, this is why it's very important that you build your faith now, because real soon you might get that knock on your door any day. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna fold like a lawn chair, or are you gonna hold it down? See, you know, because remember, when you're in a holding tank, you know, it's only going to be you. You know, you're not going to be around your family, your friends. Okay, remember that. You know, a lot of people are going to be separating this time. This is why you have to build your faith now. That way, whatever you got to go through, you know, you don't have to be like, oh well, this is my friend, my family. Nah, hey, you know, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, because Yahweh Shai is going is going to stop these elites with their newer order. But remember, he's gonna let it go. He's gonna allow them to get it going so far, but then the Lord's gonna stop it. Yep. But remember, heads will go in guillotines. Remember that, but it's not gonna be that long, because Yahweh Shai is right around the corner, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right. So what's their enterprise? The New World Order. Okay, so they're not gonna finish it, because remember, the Lord's right here, you guys. The Lord and the angels are right here. Hey, don't worry about these clowns. Yep, damn right. You know, yeah, they may have power over Iran and Venezuela, but they ain't got power over Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the angels. Okay, the Lord's laughing at them. The Lord's laughing at them. You kidding me? You know, what the hell with these cave dwellers? You know, let them get mad. You know, let them get mad. Let them get mad. You know, give us a set. You know, what are they gonna do? You know, shoot, as soon as they step up, they're gonna get beat down. Verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime. Yeah, because secret societies. This is why David said, okay, King David said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, because it's very real. Okay, now the world is starting to know about it. Okay, all right, yeah. Now the world's starting to know about it. Even their own military is like, hey man, these dudes are a bunch of pedophiles and Satanists. Like, yeah, okay, because now the spirit of truth is back on the earth. Why? Because the Lord's about to return. Okay, because remember, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. It was only for a short time to show the world, this is what happens when the wicked rule. But this is why they can't. If you guys research, only 90% of the 90% of the ocean is unexplored. Okay, they can't go to other planets. But why is that? Okay, why is that? Because because it's not their planet. And remember, if they were gods, they would know. Okay, so that's why it's a mystery. It's an unknown. So how come they don't know? If they're gods, you're telling me they can't even figure out one planet? You know how many galaxies are out there in different planets, and yet they don't know what's on. They don't even know what's in the Amazon, and the oceans. But yet they're gods. Does that make any sense to you guys out there? Just to show you that they don't even know what's in the bottom of this ocean, one planet, but yet they're ready to face the Most High and His Son. This man's about to get beat down beyond bad, beyond. Imagine, beyond bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can punk Venezuela and Iran and stuff like that, but Yahweh Shai is gonna take him down in 60 minutes. Yep, they can't do anything. Remember, let the so-called white man, let them get mad. They ain't going nowhere. Remember, nobody can leave this planet. That's why Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, because they can say whatever they want. But remember, the Lord created them. Remember, there's bounds that they cannot pass. So they can talk shit all they want, but they can't go anywhere. Remember, they're going to slavery. So it's just kind of like a frustrated child, like when you have like a bad child, a bad kid. I don't like saying that word kid, because that word kid means baby goat. Okay, so it's child. Like when you have a bad child and you ground them for a little bit, and they kick the wall and all that, but it's like, yeah, it don't matter. You're just gonna hurt your own foot. Same thing with the Edomites. Let them throw a tantrum. Let them get mad. Remember, no one's leaving this planet. So what? Let them throw themselves on the floor. Let them sock the wall. Go for it. Fuck it. Go for it. Let them. They want to fire off ICBMs. Those are the Lord's missiles, anyways. But whatever, they want to blow shit up. Remember, the more mess that these heathens make, the more they gotta clean up. Because remember, they're going to slavery, so they gotta clean up this whole planet. Because they destroyed this whole planet. So fuck it. Let them. Hey, you want to destroy it? Go for it. But the more they destroy, the more they gotta clean up. There's gonna be a whole lot of like the elder Mwatazak says from the elder GMS Los Angeles. There's gonna be a lot of belt to ass. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot of cleaning up to do out here. Yup, shit. So hey, let these heathens want to make a mess. Go for it. But fuck it, Remember, the more mess they make, the more they gotta clean up. It's kind of like your child. He wants to just ruin his whole room. All right, but you're gonna pick it up. So let them run crazy. Just laugh at them, because remember, we're gonna have our foot on their necks. Yeah. And remember, we're gonna be immortal, so we're not gonna get tired. Yep. So that ass kicking is gonna be fluent. It's gonna be often. We're not gonna have to say, all right, I gotta take a break. I'm tired. Nah. Oh no. Okay. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and group in the noonday as in the night. Okay, but he saveth the poor from the sword. Right. Okay, pay attention. So he saveth the poor from the sword, because remember, the so-called white man, the Edomites, they are the sword of the Lord on the left hand side. but he saveth the poor from the sword. This is why Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7 and Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. Okay, it's the worst time that we ever are entering. Also Jacob's trouble, but what else? Okay, but the Lord's going to save them out of it at that same time, because the Lord controls this man. Okay, remember Isaiah chapter 10 verse 7. Read that in the NLT. Okay, remember that. That he doesn't know that these Edomites, they don't know that they're just a tool. That they're being used by the Lord. They don't know that. And that's good. It don't matter. It don't matter. But that's just what it is. Okay, yeah. Remember that. So the Lord is the one controlling them. So you don't think the Lord can save you? You see? But he saveth the poor from the sword, because the Lord is going to be with his elect. Absolutely. Okay? From their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. Okay? Verse 16. So the poor hath hope. Damn right. Because we're prisoners of hope. See? Hey, even the phone had to chime in on that. Okay? Because we're prisoners of hope. Because this is what we got, baby. We ain't over here with guns and telling people, hey, go in your houses. And nah, I mean, yeah, we chill, but whatever tomorrow brings, that's what it is. We tell you first and foremost, trust in the Lord, yeah, because we know a lot of us are not going to make it back to our houses. A lot of us, a lot of bros don't even have houses. A lot of people in the faith don't even have homes. So hey, yep. So you know what it is. So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Okay, verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Right? Because, aren't you happy, those of you that heard the truth? Damn right. I know I am. This is why Barack says, this is why the elder Barack from GMS Los Angeles says, you got to be grateful, thankful, and faithful. Because, yeah, man, shoot. When I hear things like, Jake's out there wilding out, it's because they don't got the truth. You see people like Captain Tazariak, it's like, that's a sad case, but it's also scary, because you imagine what's going to happen to that dude, saying that John the Baptist fell off the truth. What I mean? Come on, but that just shows, because imagine that, because that spirit could be on any of us, and not even knowing that he's being set up. Imagine. So so just the fact that you still got the spirit every day. You still pray to the Lord. You still know this truth. Hey, man, that's where it's at right there. Because, hey, man, that's Isaiah 33 and 6. It's a very serious ordeal. Therefore, despise not the chastening of the Almighty Yahweh. So, yeah, so when the Lord puts fire on you, remember, it's to purge you, to make you better. Okay, because the Lord is cleansing you. Okay, he's cleansing you. He's purging you. All right, and if you're a teacher, he's purging you to get more out of you. You see? So remember that, because yeah, it's happy is the man who the Most High corrected. Yeah, only someone who's like ignorant is gonna despise it, because you're gonna get all mad and butthurt, say, oh, why you sweating me, But remember, it's from the Lord, You gotta remember that this truth is all we got. Remember, faith is gonna be more precious, and this word is gonna be more precious than anything. Because someone with $1 billion, with the Ferrari in their garage and all that, they ain't gonna be able to do anything, because the FRNs are not gonna be worth anything. So they're just gonna be there with a big old empty house with nothing, Yeah. And remember, the ICBMs are on their way. Okay, so remember, it's not just ICE agents and people are just gonna, have a little gun battle. Okay, remember that it's gonna be ICBMs getting shot off. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Job chapter 20. Job chapter 20 verse 5. And we're gonna go to the 12th verse. Let me see here. Job chapter 20 verse 5 down to the 12th verse. Okay, here we go. The triumphing of the wicked is short. Okay, because yeah, right now, how these leaders, they're they're on their high horse, they're full of pride, they think, oh, who's going to take us down to the ground? It's short, because they're at their end. And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment. Yeah, because they're out of there. Okay, they're out of there, they're finished, man. This place is finished. Verse 6. Though his excellency, pay attention, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, because, yeah, because these Edomites are ruling the whole world, and they got satellites up there, Space Force, all that, see? Okay, and his head reach up to the clouds because they think that, oh yeah, we're gods and all that. Aren't they saying that? Remember Noah Harari? He goes, oh yeah, we can make God as mad as we want because they think that, oh yeah, we can do whatever we want. Check it out. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Right. Because after 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be exterminated. So don't even worry about it. Their words don't even matter. Why? Because it's not going to change anything. Okay, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Because the whole world is not going to see Edomites ever again. Okay, yeah, they're about to be fully erased off the earth. You imagine? Yeah. So by knowing that, who cares what they say? It's like somebody talking shit on death row. Imagine somebody was about to get executed and on death row, by electric chair, whatever. Like tomorrow, and at the nighttime he was just talking crap. It's like, who cares? Like tomorrow you're about to be done away with. So it's just like that, So these dudes want to talk crap, don't matter, It don't matter, They're about to be deleted. Yep. So this is the way you gotta see it, Verse 8. He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Right. Why aren't they going to be found, the Edomites? Because the Lord's going to completely get rid of them after 1,000 years. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Verse 9. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Okay. Verse 10, his children shall seek to please the poor. Alright, because there are some Edomites out there, who are there are some Edomites out there that are trying to please the poor, There's but that's very rare, but there are out there. Okay, but they're kind of like low level Edomites, They're trying to just because most Edomites, they're not going to apologize, but there are a few occasions out there. His children shall seek to please the poor, because some are, trying to. There's some out there that are actually trying to apologize and stuff, But those are not the elites. The elites for sure are not trying to apologize. But there are, a few cases out there where a few Edomites, they're trying to say, oh, we're sorry, And his hands shall restore their goods. So the Lord not. It's too late. You ever heard that song? It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Lord don't want to hear it. All right. So, verse 11. His bones are full of. Oh, right here. Okay. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Right. Okay. Which shall lie down with him in the dust. So this man's full of wickedness, because he got everything through rape, robbery, and murder. Remember that he has to pay for everything, Remember, this is the Lord speaking. This is not just, oh well, this is our opinion. Nah, this is the Lord. It don't even matter what we say. Yeah, this is big time right here. Okay, right here. Verse 12. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Right, because his words are smoother than butter, but war's in his heart. This is why these leaders, they made those the juicy juice. Remember, they made people take that, but now people have hydrocels in them. Okay, now they got nanotech inside them. You see, but they lied to the people and said that, oh, it's gonna help you. But what did people do? They got all messed up. You know, people got all messed up by taking those by taking the the juicy juice. All right, yeah, because that's how the so-called white man gets down. Hey, remember what happened with the broken treaties? Okay, the broken treaties. Remember what happened to the our brothers and sisters? Okay, the so-called Native American Indians. Okay, the sort of that's the tribe of Gad, tribe of Reuben. Okay, tribe of Issachar. All right, how the so-called white man came, shook hands with them, and then slaughtered them when they were sleeping. Slaughtered whole villages. And it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving an official holiday. Okay, that's a celebration of our enemies slaughtering a whole village. That's right. So why do you think the Lord is going to slaughter you? Okay, because all these holidays are all about mocking the Lord. Okay, and the slaughter and downfall of the children of Israel. See, see that. So now since the Edomites have the whole world participate in that, okay, the Lord is gonna have the whole world see the Edomites no more. Okay, because remember, the Lord's not mocked. So since you want to mock the Lord and mock the children of Israel, the Lord is gonna put you Edomites 1,000 years in slavery, and then He's gonna exterminate you. Yep. So this is why we ain't tripping. You want to celebrate that Christmas and all that, go for it. But we know where your Edomites are gonna go. Okay, because it don't matter how mad you get, how red you get. Okay, you ain't messing with the angels in your Halabash Shai. Yep, just like that, it's just like that. So that's why you don't even matter. Okay, by you getting mad, that just makes us laugh. Cause you ain't going anywhere. You're about to catch a beat down out here, big time. And the whole world's gonna see it. Yep, the Lord Yahweh Shai that you mock. Okay, Yahweh Shai is gonna come down here, all right, and beat all you devils down in front of the whole world, in front of the whole world. Yep, yeah, put chains on you and put your ass to work, and slaughter your children and your wives. Yep, before the whole world. Yep, so get ready for that. To all you top elite Edomites out there, all right, get ready for that embarrassment, for that humiliation. Yep, remember, because the people that you laugh at, okay, are about to have their foots on your neck. Yep, and are about to slaughter your children. That's right. It don't matter what kind of teams you got out here. That don't mean nothing. Okay, when Yahweh Shai gets here, that's it, man. Yep, it don't even matter what you got to say at this point. Job chapter 18 verse 5 down to the 21st verse. Okay, right here we go. Okay, this is all the Lord talking about the Edomites. Okay, the Lord the Lord right here is this is all about the Lord telling us through His prophet Job. Check it out. Job chapter 18 verse 5. Okay, down to the 21st verse. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Okay, so the light of the wicked shall be put out, right? Because they do have knowledge, but of wickedness. This is why they do baby sacrifice. Because they do get power from that. They summon up demons. It's very real. Very real, very real. Verse 6. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Yeah, because his power is about to be gone. Okay, the Lord is going to take these devils out of the power seat, Okay, verse 7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened. This is why these devils are getting sloppy, because right there, straighten, it doesn't mean like straight, like a straight road. Straighten means a path of difficulty, because this is why these devils right now, they're getting sloppy, They have to stage stuff, do whatever they gotta do, because they're running out of time. Okay, because remember, these Edomites are not as intelligent as you think, Because people are giving the wicked too much credit, They think, oh, these guys are, doing this and that. But remember, they're just men, They're having a hard time. Remember that, okay? Nothing's going as easy as they thought. Because remember, they have people pushing back. Remember, not everybody agrees with the New World Order. Remember that there's people out there that say, no, fuck that. We're not going along with that shit. You know? Yeah. So he thought it was gonna be easier than that. You know? Because there's gonna be a lot of pushback. Yeah. That's what that means right there. The steps of his strength shall be straightened. Yeah, because he can't just go and do whatever he wants, you know? See how he wants to go and take Greenland? Look at all those nations who came and said, nah, we're going to back up Greenland. Fuck you, US. See? All right. Because he can't just do whatever he wants, you know, like he thought. Because there's pushback. See? And his own counsel shall cast him down. Right, because you got even the so-called white man telling on the so-called white man, okay? You got people in the American military spilling the beans, saying, yeah, hey, what these dudes are doing is full genocide. They're killing people, you know? See? Because his own people are telling on him. Why? Because this man's corrupt. You know, it's corrupt. They're corrupt, you know? It's that simple. It's that simple, you know? We're not going to be all, you know, focusing on the little stuff and say, oh, I saw him, you know, he threw trash on the floor. And nah, man, we're not going to nitpick all that shit, you know? We're going to tell you the man's corrupt. You know, these leaders are corrupt. Point blank, period, you know? You got to know all these little greasy details. Just know, look, listen, these people, these elites and rulers and presidents worship Satan. Okay, they are corrupt and wicked, 100%. That's it, you know? Leave it right there, leave it right there. Right, verse 8, for he is cast into a net by his own feet. Right, okay? And he walketh upon a snare. So the Lord got him. Okay, he ain't going anywhere. Remember that. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Right, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of foreigners invading America. You already have sleeper cells here. Okay, Yahushua and the angels are going to fully take over this whole planet. See? So, point blank period, you know, just to, you know, put it all into perspective, it just means that, you know, that the Edomites are not going anywhere, you know? This, verse 10, the snare is laid for him. Okay, the snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. So the Lord has him in a trick bag, okay, because they're not going anywhere. Verse 11, terror shall make him afraid on every side, because the whole world is coming up against these Edomites, okay, especially those small, the tiny tops, the people that run Hollywood and that live in Israel right now, that wear a small circular hat on top of their head, okay, saying that they're us when they're not, okay, because everyone knows that, yeah, it's these people, you know, because people are starting to know, yeah, it's them, you know, okay. Terror shall make him afraid on every side. Why? Because the world is starting to wake up to smell the coffee, you know, yep, because people are spilling the beans out there, you know, because everyone's saying the same thing. Yeah, hey, it's these fucking guys. These are the ones doing that, you know. These are the ones, you know, raping children. You know, they have synagogues underneath their churches. You know, they have tunnels underneath their churches and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. I mean, who does shit like that, you know? You know? But hey, it's them. See? And shall drive him to his feet. So, yeah, you know, it's only a little bit more. You know, the Lord is going to humble these Edomites. Yep. Verse 12, his strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. See that? Because he's about to go down. Verse 13, it shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength, like what the Lord did to Pharaoh. Okay? Remember, the Lord took all the firstborn. So remember, the Lord can do that too. Who knows what the Lord's going to do? Okay, remember, the Lord's only going to terrify these Edomites more and more, all the way to Yahushua gets here. The Lord is going to plague the crap out of these Edomites. Remember, he's going to take their children. He's going to torture their family. The Lord is going to tear up our enemies. Remember that. Okay, remember that. Remember that. Okay, the Lord knows what they're afraid of, what they're trying to protect. The Lord's going to take all that from them. Okay, the Lord knows how to make you Edomite. He's going to break you. He's going to break you. He's going to break you. He's going to make you cry, man. You know? Verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Right, so who's the king of terrors? That's our Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Because Yahweh, remember, he created Satan. Okay, he created both good and evil. Okay, he's the king of terrors. You kidding me? You kidding me? That's why for these Edomites to try to fight back against them, it's insane. This is why you just gotta sit back and watch the show. You know. All right, verse 15. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. Okay, because yeah, he's gonna have no more strong ground. He's gonna have no more foundation. Okay, the Lord and the angels are destroying this man's foundation from the inside out. All right. Yep. Yeah. He's out of there. Remember, Esau's on the ropes. He's on the ropes. He's desperate. He can say whatever he wants. He can laugh. He can get mad. But remember, his kingdom's going down. He's on the ropes. He's on the ropes. So what if these Edomites and heathens make fun of you because you don't got that much money and all that? Who gives a shit? They're going to slavery. They're on the ropes. So they don't talk shit. Don't mean nothing. So what? Forget these FRNs. Remember, the Lord's about to give us immortality. Remember that. So remember, this kingdom's going down. So who is the you gotta be a real retard to know that you're about to go into slavery and you're about to be exterminated and you're still laughing. You're telling me our enemies are not retarded? So let them laugh. We're laughing too. Because you gotta be a true idiot to be laughing at slavery and to be exterminated. And you telling me our enemies are not retarded? Yeah. Hey, rejoice, Akim. Because hey, anyone that laughs at that, you're a complete retard. You're a complete reject. Verse 17, his remembrance shall perish from the earth. See that? His remembrance, the Edomites, shall perish from the earth, because they're about to be exterminated. See that? So, I don't care what you say. All right? He can laugh all he wants. Okay, but remember, they're about to be exterminated. So it don't even matter. It don't even matter. Okay? And he shall have no name in the street, because the Lord's about to completely delete the Edomites after 1,000 years of slavery. And the Lord's about to be here, Akim and Aqua, because he's going to come in the middle of World War III, all right, which is right here. You can clearly see it's right here already to show you that our Lord's right here. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. See, because the Lord's going to completely remove them out of the world. Verse 19. We're going to go down to the 21st verse, okay? He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. See that? Any remaining. Why? Because the Lord is going to totally delete the Edomites. All of them. This is very serious, Imagine that. So that's why, does it even matter what they say? Don't even matter. Because we know where they're going. So they can say whatever they want. Build the case, go for it. But you're going to slavery. Yeah, we may go to jail, for a few years? So what? Okay, they're going to slavery. And they're about to be exterminated. So you can't top that. Remember, the Lord's going to be here real soon. Me just thinking as a man, I don't think no more than 3 more years. We don't got no more than 3 more years left on before Yahushua arrives. So imagine, it's right here, man. So whatever you gotta go through, hold it down, baby. Hold it down. Hold it down. Know that Yahushua is coming. Yeah. Shit. Imagine. So I don't even compare the hell that you're catching right now, Akim Aqua. Imagine that. Imagine what these Edomites are about to go through. So it doesn't even compare. So what? Sometimes you're broke. So what? Remember, we're about to inherit everlasting kingdom, immortality. Remember where these heathens and Edomites are going. So remember that when you're catching your hell, you have your car problems. Remember that it's not so bad, because hey, look what's about to happen to our enemies. Okay. Okay, pues. Alright? This is why we tell you, por eso. Okay? Alright? That's enough. On your feet, soldier. They that, and remember, Yahweh Shai already got the victory. He already got it. He already got it. He already defeated the earth, and he already defeated Satan. He already got. Hey, come on. What are you talking about? Hmm? Verse 20. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day. At his day, yeah, because people are gonna be like, damn, like the Lord really got rid of them, because the Lord's really gonna get rid of all of them. Okay, imagine. You telling me that's not? You telling me that's not scary? Shit, you know. This is why the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7. Okay, because shit, you know. Hey, as they that went before were affrighted. Verse 21. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High Yahweh. So there it is. Okay, because those of the wicked, this is what's gonna happen to them. You know. So with that, rejoice, Akim and Aqua, because remember, it don't matter what our enemies do to you in these last days, because you know we're still gonna go through a lot more. But that's okay. Remember, just buckle down, put your seatbelt on, and endure. Because remember, what our enemies are about to go through after this, it don't even compare. So with that, stay strong, stay prayed up, on your feet, soldier. Shalom.